But honey, now I do. And don't I make my brown eyes, and don't I make my brown eyes, and don't I make my brown eyes blue.
Crystal Gayle, welcome to our show Profiles.
Well, thank you.
And also welcome to the College of Staten Island, where you're performing tonight.
It's beautiful here.
It certainly is. And is this one of your first visits? I know you've been to New York City many times, but not to Staten Island, I guess.
Not to this particular hall, and the college area is just beautiful here.
It really is. And of course, many of our viewers will know you as a singer, but you're also an actress. You've been on Another World.
Oh, I did Another World, of course. You know. That was fun.
And also wrote the theme for that show, or sang the theme?
I sang Gary Morris, and
Right.
I sang the theme song for Another World, and just had a great time with it. And of course, with doing the song, that's why I was on the show. And boy, I have a lot of respect for actors and actresses. I mean, it's not easy work.
It's a tough way to make a living. You're also an entrepreneur, which we'll talk about a little later. And of course, you were born Brenda Gayle Webb in a coal mining town of Paintsville, Kentucky.
Well, you know, Kentucky is such a beautiful country, and definitely my roots are there. We moved, actually, when I was about 4, to Wabash, Indiana.
Okay.
So I have I've got a background that goes all the way around.
And you weren't, as I said, you were born Brenda, and somewhere along the line you adopted the name Crystal. And correct me if my research is wrong, but you spotted a sign for Crystal restaurant chains?
In the South, there's some Crystal hamburger chains.
Okay.
And actually, my sister did see that and say, that's what your name should be.
And your sister, of course, being
Loretta Lynn.
Loretta Lynn, the legendary country
Yes,
singer.
definitely.
Which we'll talk about her a little bit as well. And of course, I just wanted to touch upon your career as an entrepreneur, because you run this store in Nashville called Crystals for Fine Gifts and Jewelry.
Yes.
With your husband.
Yes, it's we've had it, I think it's been going about 12 years or so now.
How's it doing?
It's doing great. The holiday has been very good for it. It's something, I have respect also for retailers, because it's definitely not an easy business.
Sure
but
is.
I have some wonderful people that work there. The manager of the shop, Tommy Quinn, is great.
Right.
And, it's something that it's a lot of fun. I've made good friends within the artistic world of making these wonderful, beautiful things that we have there.
Sure. And I got a kick out of reading why you got into the business, and it said you love Crystal as presents, but you couldn't find any place in Nashville that had anything you liked.
Well, they didn't really carry Crystal. Maybe a goblet here and there, but, I wanted to give other things as well. And I couldn't. Now they definitely have a lot more because it's grown, it's bigger. But it was one of the reasons I wanted to start this small crystal shop. And what was a small crystal shop is definitely a much larger shop. We have everything from baby gifts. We have music boxes that play "Don't It Make My Brown Eyes Blue."
Speaking of which, they'll remember you because we're not very, I don't think we are in New York City. It's not a very country-orientated market, is it?
Well, no, not. There's been times it's been a little bit more, and that's probably when the boots and the hats are in style.
Sure.
But it definitely is, a little bit more.
But you certainly adopted many fans back in the 70s when you had a crossover, when you became a crossover star with that hit you just mentioned, which is "Don't It Make My Brown Eyes Blue," which became, for our viewers, a #1 country chart hit, but also made #2 on the pop charts. And while I was researching that, I said, I wonder if Crystal remembers the song that was #1 that kept her from being
definitely.
You do remember it.
You Light Up My Life.
You Light Up My Life.
Yeah,
which
that was a great
by
song. Debbie Boone.
Debbie Boone, Pat Boone's daughter.
Yeah.
And that was a beautiful song.
Oh, gorgeous song.
That is great. And of course, the significance of eyes in many of your songs. I looked back and I said, I see songs with eyes, eyes, eyes. And I said, I have to ask Crystal, what's the significance of eyes in many of her tunes?
I don't know. Actually, the very first song I recorded was called "I Cried the Blue Right Out of My Eyes."
I saw that.
And then to turn around and have this million-selling single that "Don't It Make My Brown Eyes Blue." Now, after that song, every song I got sent to listen to had eyes in it.
Yeah, of course.
So maybe that's why there's a few eyes in there.
You were onto something with the eyes. But from that song, you won Grammy Awards for Best Female Country Vocal Performance and also for Best Country Song. And what I found interesting was the album on which it appeared, We Must Believe in Magic, became the first album by a female country artist to sell over 1 million copies. I was surprised. There was no others prior to that.
Well, you know, that's what they said. I guess it's you know, I didn't research.
Yeah, that's what it.
You know,
yeah.
you know, I never look at the facts or figures. Someone will say, "How many albums do you have out?" I don't know.
You don't even know. You just
You
keep
know,
doing
there
what
might
you
have
do.
been a number that they tell me. It just, you know, I love singing. That's what I do. You know, I don't keep those figures in my head. I mean, Brown Eyes, you probably know, was one of the top 10 most played country songs of the century.
Absolutely.
And I was amazed at that. I mean, it was very thrilling, and it's such an honor. But, you know, songs like that don't come around that often.
No. When you first recorded it, did you know that it was going to be a special tune for you?
I knew it was a special song. That was a first take in the studio. I didn't re-sing it. I mean, what you hear on record went down. Well, that
One take song.
It's a performance in the studio. You have all those musicians, and they go in there and they just play so great, and it really inspires you, and it's just all together. I guess we all inspire each other.
You sure do. Now, I did want to mention that you are the younger sister, as I mentioned before, but I wanted to touch on it again. Country legend Loretta Lynn, with whom you'll be currently working on an album or a CD called Sisters.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, you know, we have been working on this album for many moons. And, you know, our schedules have been crazy. And then last year when we were going to get in the studio, my sister was sick with pneumonia, and she's over that, but she went on to do a lot of touring. And but we were talking and recently, and we're going to try to get it finished this beginning of the year, spring.
Hopefully. And you've just come out with an album recently for kids.
In My Arms.
Tell me about that, because one of the questions was, what is an album for kids? What is it exactly?
Well, you know, I say it's an album for grown-ups that haven't grown up too, so we're all kids. You know, it's just really positive, wonderful songs that two guys in Nashville wrote all the material, Denny Giosa and Steve Ivey, and they produced it. They came with me with some of the songs that we're writing these children's songs, and we want you to sing that. We want your voice on our album. And I loved them, and they were just, we need a lot of positive things for our children. And, you know, it's soothing. I mean, I always say if you're having a little argument, put that on. You know? It soothes.
It soothes, and we can use as much soothing as we can possibly find these days.
It's been a